Earth, Wind, and Fire. Alexa, play Earth, Wind, and Fire. Alexa, play Earth, Wind, and Fire. Okay. Hello. Uh-oh, how do I do this? Oh, good morning, honey. All right, hello. Can't hear you. Says you have to put, unmute yourself. You have to unmute you.
Okay, yeah. Hello.
Okay, I'm
World
getting,
of technology.
yes.
So this is only going to be audio?
No, it's recording.
Yeah, but is going to be the video or just audio?
Both.
Okay.
Yes, it's both. And plus I'm recording on Facebook too. So I got 3 different things going on at the same time.
Okay, and we're actually live now?
Yes, ma'am. Says, yes. Yes, I gotta look because I got 3, like I said, I got 3 cameras going on. Okay. I'm trying to like 1, 2, 3, and wait a minute, what's going on? Uh-oh. It's like, oh, no wonder. It's like you're facing the wrong way. Okay. Oh, wow. I don't know. I'm going to see. Nope, that ain't going to work either. Ay, ay, ay. I guess that's the best way I'm going to have to do this. It's not the best way. I don't know. Yeah, technology is taking me for a loop here. I'm gonna just record this and just do the best I can and just say, okay, this is it, and upload it in there. I'm sorry about all the confusion. It's been a hectic week here in my little humble abode.
Yeah, for me too. So it's just been really busy. Like I had so much stuff going on, podcasts, workshops, and it was just like,
Yes. See, well, I'm not that busy yet, because I'm in organization and all that other stuff. So I reached out to you because you were in Bahia at the time, Bahia, Brazil. And I didn't see, and you were doing some Reiki. And that's the first time that I've seen. Okay, Alexa, you're going to have to just cut off. Alexa, cut off. Thank you. No. All right. Woo. Okay. That's why I reached out to you, because I was thinking of actually moving there. And I'm a metaphysician, so I was like, okay, let's see some other things if this is a fit, because I do the crystals and blah, 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 blah.
Right, awesome.
So, I'm always looking. I'm always traveling to see where my self is, because I did Muna Aiki ceremony in Lima, Peru. So
did you do it by chance with a lady named Diane Dunn?
I think so. White lady, black. Yeah. Yes.
Black hair, grays, black hair.
Yes.
I know her. Yes. I think she's probably the only one who does it in Lima, Peru. Well, I met her in Cusco. She has a place outside of Lima, outside of Cusco, in Pisac.
Okay.
Anyway,
Albert Vadalu, who's out here in California, where I am in Joshua Tree. He was the one that brought it to United States and was doing it the United States while and taking retreats back. So it was like, oh, okay. So that's here or there. But I want to get to you about you. and your transformation from being, from the U.S. and there, in what you do now, and especially about the Black experience. I really want to talk about that and the work that you're doing. So I was like, okay, because there was another young lady. I was like, so it's other people, it's comfortable. Usually when we talk about Brazil, it's more Colombia, or no, Rio de Janeiro and the city, and like that, not healing. And I'm looking for more of a healing setting with the mountains and the oceans and the streams and stuff to tell people about, so they can go, like we want to experience the healing element. We can party, that's no problem, we love the party too, but the healing element is more important, because it's, for me, about holistic healing from in and out. So now it went live. See, I'm telling you, technology is see, that's what happens when you have 3 cameras going on.
Right.
And it's not cutting off. Mine on possessed technology. Oh, wow. That's horrible, but that's okay. All righty. Mufasa.
Just breathe.
So he's like, you got so much going on. Yeah, I just literally got back in my house, literally like maybe 3 minutes ago, because we had to get out. So, so I am Dr. D from the Food Alchemy Network. So you guys, this is live. I know some of you seeing it. I'm discombobulated, so forgive me. So if y'all take a deep breath with me, you know how I like to start. Take 3 deep breaths with me. We're going to inhale, exhale, shake it off, shake it off, shake it off. One more time. Inhale, exhale. Breathe in beautiful thoughts this time. Inhale, exhale. Okay, I'm good. How are you guys feeling? I'm hoping you're feeling good. And I am so grateful.
I'm feeling good.
I am so grateful just for this day. Today is Friday. Thank you, thank you, thank you. No, might not mean much every day because our days are running in together, but we are not going to be part of that pandemic COVID. That's not what we do. We live in a different vortex, a different hologram, and we're going to bring in all the positivity. I want you guys to get your pencils and your papers. And or if you want to just sit back and relax and listen and get the information and go to the channel and listen to it again, you can do so. So everybody knows me as a food alchemist, also as Dr. D for Food Alchemy, and Dr. Cicely D'Angelo fan page, Med Physician. So right now, my illustrious guest is talking to me all the way from Brazil. Now, who would have thought? So, and your name, I don't want to screw it up, has it Prandhara? Prandhara. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is the yoga, a yoga name?
It's a Sanskrit name. So my biological name is Renee. And when I went through my Tantra initiation, I received the name Prandhara Prem, which means to go with the flow of love and life. So,
exciting.
Yes, it is. I love it. It's so me. Thank you. When I received that name, I was like, this is so me, because I'm going with that flow of love and life right now. Like, no stress.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
love. It's life. Being.
Okay, so tell me where you're from.
Okay, so originally I'm from New York. My parents are from Haiti. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, but I think by way of my parents, I became a nomad because at like 13 years old, we moved to Florida. Then from Florida, after I graduated from college, I hated it there. I ended up moving to Virginia, then Maryland. Then I backpacked for a whole year. So,
Wow.
so really, when you ask where I'm from, I could say the world, all over.
Global. That's all right.
Global.
Right. I like that. You're a global
Yeah.
citizen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you consider home right now, or where you, as we say, where you pitching your tent at this present point?
Yeah. So, it's so funny because I like to say wherever I lay my head is my home. Right. So, right now, currently, I'm in Rio de Janeiro. I've lived in many different places in Brazil, and by far, Salvador is my best, my favorite. And, when you were talking earlier about nature and mountains, I lived in another area in Brazil called Minas Gerais, in the mountains, like a small little town, literally, like, when I would go out on a terrace, all you could see are just mountains, beautiful views, and so it's just amazing. And that's one of the things, I know we'll go get into it more, but that's one of the things that brought me to Brazil, or kept me in Brazil, was that healing aspect, that nature. I'm here in Rio right now. It's kind of like I have one step in and one step out. And I kind of just ended up here during the Olympics. I came here to work during the Olympics and ended up staying because I got a lot of people coming to me for work. And so that just kind of happened. But literally I would go back and forth between Salvador and Rio de Janeiro, because Salvador is my heart, Bahia. And so I was really in between both of these states. But now because of COVID, I've been in Rio for the last 5 months.
Wow.
Wasn't really supposed to happen. I wasn't supposed to be here, but this is where I was, and this is where.
Destined. It's destined.
Yeah.
What can you say? Because a lot of people have expectations like, this is where I wanted to go, but I'm here. So how did you make that adjustment that you were thinking about, going to go back, but now you've been here because of the COVID? How have you adjusted, like psychologically and spiritually integrate into the grid, as I put it, where you are? Because it's a different grid and vibration between Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah. It's a huge difference. Honestly, it's all about trust. Everything is in divine order. So I just know that. Honestly, so March had workshops back to back lined up. I was in California. I was in San Diego at the time. I was supposed to go to LA, then to Detroit, then to the DC area to do some workshops. And then March 17th, I decided to hop on a flight and come back to Brazil because of what was happening. And where I was here in Rio. And so I had a place in Salvador, but I had released that let go of that lease. And I just always renew it or find a new place whenever I'm there. So, I don't have a lot of stuff. I'm very simple. I can put my stuff in 2 suitcases and that's everything I own. Very simple. That's just me. It's easy, easy to come and go or whatever. And so I didn't realize it was going to be this long. And I was already supposed to be back in Salvador because I do workshops in Salvador. And I just couldn't. And I stayed here. And it was honestly, it's a blessing in disguise. Everything happens as it's supposed to. I had time to really just kind of connect and work with myself, start doing online workshops, which I had been wanting to do and never got to do because I've been traveling so much and doing everything in person. So, so it was more like, okay, trusting the divine, that everything happens as it's supposed to. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And just knowing that anytime anxiety comes up, it's like, breathe like we did earlier, right? Like you let us do this deep breathing and just saying, okay, this is God's will, or this is the universe's will, whatever it is that you believe in, this is the energy. Everything happens as it's supposed to, and I trust it. One of the things, I'm actually here in a Buddhist temple right now. So whenever I'm in Rio, I live in a Buddhist temple. And so, and it's interesting because this is also, not only is this a Buddhist temple, it's a healing space. So we do acupuncture here, we do Reiki here, therapy, I do psychotherapy here, my Reiki work. We have another guy here who does Reiki. There's another therapist here. So when it was open, people were constantly coming here for acupuncture, for Reiki, for some type of healing, as well as meditation. So this is my home in Rio, you know, and then in Salvador, I usually rent out a room. Just whenever I go there, I have a place. So, you know, or not just a room, I rent out my only like a studio. So, you know, so that's been it. And so I'm here and it's just been good. It's been good being here in this energy in a temple, you know, and just doing the work on myself, you know, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Self-reliance is so good, or going within is very good. So
Oh, it's
that's
so important.
so beautiful.
So important. Mm-hmm.
So to expand, tell us, why do you think is important? For me, I tell them all the time, it's all about self-care, because you can't take care of others if you don't take care of yourself first.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And that's what I want people to understand. It's very important. We're so busy. We're nurturers by nature, because we're always taking care of others, that we deplete our own energy that we're not able to give to ourselves. So that time that you're giving to yourself is so special. And I want to honor you with that, because a lot of us don't. And a lot of us think it's being selfish when we honor ourselves. And I want you guys to know it's not selfish. It's self-care and self-love. You can't give if you don't have. Can't give from an empty cup. I'm just saying. So I want y'all to realize that. But let's talk more about you. Like, how did you decided that you wanted to get into the holistic field and do Reiki, and then Tantra, and go through that experience? Like, what?
Yeah, well,
life turning.
Right. Well, it actually came out because of self-care. So, you know, and as you were talking, it's so true that, you know, when we try to take care of ourselves, because we're conditioned to believe that that's being selfish, right? And so, and it's not, like you said, it's self-care. And I used to be a very like high strung, like stress, a lot of anxiety person, because I was always doing a lot. I didn't know how to just do nothing. I didn't know how to just sit down and relax. And at that time, I had my private practice, just working as a psychotherapist. And I realized, I was like, okay, I got a lot of anxiety. Like, I need to do something. And I used to be a Christian. Oh, I'm still a Christian. But I used to go to the church often. But I was like, I need something else. Like, I need something. Used to be, I literally used to go to the church 5 days a week, right? Like, I was in Bible study, the dance ministry, the drama ministry, you know, going consistently. And then eventually, but I still felt like something was missing. I'm like, what is going on internally within me? That there's just all this anxiety, there's all this stress, there's just not this trust, you know. And I would ask questions in the church, and I didn't feel like I got my questions answered. So I decided I want to start meditating, and just to really learn how to just calm my mind. And so I was like, okay, well, what's the best way to meditate? Go to a Buddhist center. So I found a Buddhist center in my area, and that was in the DC area at the time, Maryland. And I started frequenting the Buddhist center, and it was great. Like, you know, just going there and meditating, I found a different, like, my mind began to just really calm. My mind began to just not have 50 million thoughts going in and out of my mind. It was hard. I'm not going to say it's easy, because meditating is difficult in the beginning. It's a challenge because we're not used to it. And as the Buddhists say, we have that monkey mind, right? So your mind is constantly going, constantly back and forth. And so it's, you know, so in the beginning it's very challenging, because it's like, you know, you're going off and you're thinking all these different things. What am I going to eat? What am I going to do? You know, all these different things. But eventually it's like, okay. Then I was in the process of getting my master's. I was getting my master's, and a lady was there, and I connected with her, one of my colleagues, students, and not students, colleagues. She was also another student like me. I can't think in English sometimes. But anyway, she was like, she gave a massage, and I was like, oh, I'd like to get a massage from you. And so when I went there, it was interesting because she was giving me a massage, And the energy felt different. Now, again, I had never done anything with energy, never really even talked about energy, you know, traditional Buddhist meditation, where I don't even think we really talked so much about energy. Maybe we did a little bit, but not in a sense where I actually felt energy moving around me. And I just felt things happening that I never felt before in this massage. And at one point I felt like there were hands on me here, there were hands on my feet, there was hands on my head. And I'm like looking around like, what the heck is going on? And I said, you know, what kind of massage is this? Because I felt like energy moving and I felt like things shifting in my body. And at points I felt like there was different hands throughout my body. And she was like, oh, you know, I'm a Reiki practitioner. And when the Reiki energy needs to come out, it just comes out naturally, you know, sometimes. And I was like, what the hell is that? Like, it freaked me out. I was like, I don't know what this, because I was still going to the church, right? Even though I was going to the Buddha Center to meditate.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just like, oh, I don't know what the hell is this demonic stuff. And there was demons in here touching me. And she was like, and you know, your ancestors came to help assist in your healing. And I was like, my ancestors came. I was like, I don't know, you know, I freaked out. I left. I was like, I am never going back to her again for a massage. And then I was telling one of my ladies, or one of my good friends that I went to church with. She was like, oh, that's demonic. You don't know what that energy is. And I was like, oh, you know, and it really scared me. And I was like, okay, never again. And then a year later, so I completely forgot about this, didn't pursue Reiki or anything like that. Year later, I go on a ski trip in New York. And I gotta get a massage again. So I'm at the place and I'm getting a massage. Same thing happens. Now, mind you, in between these, I've gotten massages done before, but I think maybe they didn't do Reiki because I love massage. And so it was just, you know, regular massage. Then, you know, I go again and I get this massage and the same thing is happening. Like, I'm feeling energy moving and I'm like, oh my God, this is happening again. Like flashbacks from a year ago. And then I asked the lady, she was like, yeah, I work with Reiki, I work with energy. And I was like, okay, well, this is the second time this happened. Instead of running, let me talk to her. Let me find out what's going on. So we had a great conversation and she explained into detail, you know, about what the Reiki healing energy is and, you know, how it can do no harm. It really is just a path of being able to, one, take care of yourself and heal yourself. Because even when you're doing Reiki on someone else, that healing energy goes through you and heals you first. And, you know, this is one of the things that you learn how to connect with other people, touch people, and truly touch people, not because you want something in return, not because you're touching them just because you want to have sex or, you know, because we don't really touch so much unless it's, you know, something, okay, we're thinking there's an end goal, but to just be there. So when you're doing Reiki on yourself or someone else, you're touching, you're putting your hands in these different positions and it feels so good. And, you know, so then she had like what we call a pendulum to read energy. And so she had the pendulum and she put it over my chakras, which are energy centers that goes parallel to our spine. And she would put it over there and she was like, okay, let's see if it's balanced or not. And then, okay, this is not balanced. So this is what's going on in your life. And I'm like, yeah, this is what's going on in my life. So I could see, so she put it in a way that I could see and I could understand how this energy works, right? And then she was like, okay, say some negative things about yourself. So I started saying negative things and then the pendulum starts to turn counterclockwise. Then she says, okay, now say positive things. So I started saying positive things and it began to turn clockwise. And I was like, first I was like, let me see if her hands are moving it, but her hands were still. And I'm like, okay, she's not making this pendulum turn. So that really opened me up. And then when I went back to Maryland, it was like, I was like, okay, well, you know, I'd love to really now actually receive a Reiki session and actually go in with my mind thinking about Reiki, right? And so that's kind of how that journey got started. And so then I ended up learning by an Indian woman. And I did all 3 levels. And before I left the US, I did all 3 levels of traditional Reiki, and then Sekhem Seikin Reiki, which is SSR Reiki, and Egyptian style. So I became masters in both of those. And it was just great. Like I could already see my life changing in the sense that Reiki also helps with anxiety, stress, any pain that you have. So I could see that it was changing in a good way. And then that was actually probably the big thing that made me kind of stop leaving the church, because they were so closed about it, saying that this is demonic, all these negative things. And I was like, no, like I don't feel that. Like I don't feel like it's bad. I feel like this is something that's good and that's helping me. And honestly, when I started doing Reiki, I stopped drinking, like literally, because you go through a 21-day cleansing process where you don't drink, you do vegetarian, you're not eating sugar, no caffeine. And then after that 21 days, I went to drink and I vomited. And it was like, I was like, okay, because I used to love to drink, like I could drink. And so Reiki, actually helped me to stop drinking. Now I drink again, like occasionally. It's not, it's not like I used to, like, oh my God, so at that time, I think I went a good 2 years without drinking at all. And then and now, like, if I drink, it might be like maybe once every couple of months, and it would be 1 glass, max 2. Whereas before I could have 6, 7 glasses and I was good, So it was Reiki that helped me do a lot of life changes, and so we like to say that Reiki is that gateway energy healing work that leads you to other things. And so from Reiki, that started just kind of opening me up, learning new things. And then I became interested in shamanism, which is the indigenous traditions to do healing, connecting with nature, using plant medicine and different things like that. And eventually, it wasn't until being here in Brazil that I found Tantra. And this was actually through my shamanic work. In a shamanic workshop, I met a lady who was working with Tantra, and then we had a great conversation. And she told me about this commune where I could learn, and I went to live there. This was the place that I lived for 2 years in Minas Gerais in the mountains. Absolutely amazing, beautiful. And it was so great. We did meditation, yoga, tantric meditation, tantric massage, like every day. So it was constant healing work on myself, and then learning how to do for other people. So I think I answered your question. I feel like I said a lot.
You did good. You did good. I like that because of self-discovery. See, I let, as you see, the energy just flow. For people out there that is watching that are scared about Reiki, because I've heard that before. All Reiki is laying of hands, basically,
Right.
just another way of saying it. It was.
And Jesus did it. That's what Jesus would do. He would lay the hands, and so that's that energy healing that we're all actually capable of doing. It's just a matter of either being attuned or naturally allowing that energy to come through you through a meditative practice.
Right. So I love that. I'm a Reiki master myself.
Mm-hmm.
Studied that as well as Shakim. I got my attunement by Patrick Ziegler.
So he's the one who's a SSR.
Yes.
He's developed SSR. So
right.
I didn't get attuned by him, but by Diane Shoemaker, who
I know who she is. She wrote the book.
Yeah, she wrote the book. Yeah, so she attuned me in the SSR. What a small world.
Right. So I'm like, listen, so and I like the fact for Tantra. For me, I'm so glad because of self-discovery. I went through Shilakwa-Kwadosha, which is sacred sexuality through the Twisted Hair Sisters in Arizona through the Deer Tribe. And it was learning each level. And then I met my friends that were in Tantra. A good friend of mine was a senior Tantra teacher in California. And she passed about 2 years ago. And she was the one, like, I was proper and upright, and because Christian women don't do that. We don't masturbate, we don't self-pleasure, we don't enjoy sex. Sex is just there to procreate.
Right.
And once I got de-armored, it was like, ooh, wow. It was discovering myself. So I can totally relate, and it's about discovering. So then after that, I can understand you wanting to fly. and wanting to discover and enjoying and moving. And I think that's what opened me up. And it made me a better parent, I believe, to be able to talk to my children and talk to other people. So I encourage anybody out there that is on the fence, do your investigation, how it started, by Ushi, and why, and when he went to the tree and asked for the healing and wanted to be like Jesus. I mean, you'll understand. And the women in your church or the men in your church, they do healing of the hands all the time. Just like people are scared of people that have visions. That's nothing but prophesizing. Again, we, for some reason, we need labels, and I'm not a label person. I don't like.
Right.
So I want you got my people to feel comfortable, or you feel comfortable with understanding this is a way to get in touch with that side, that it's no different, it's nothing scary, it's nothing demonic about it. It's innate in nature, and this is you, and it's the strength within you, and just accept it and give it love. And when you love, you'll flourish. And what you don't understand, just research. Or you know what? When you're ready, the teacher will come and the information will fall in your lap. So
so true.
You just gave a perfect example. You know, you talked to someone and they gave it to you, and then it appeared again in your life. This is a perfect example. What is for you will be for you, and it will keep appearing until you're ready to accept what it is that is your purpose, your life purpose. I'm just saying. So
it's so true, because it's so interesting, because I did my master, became I got my Reiki masters, but I never really thought about teaching it. It was just something I did because I just love to study, and and I went to the master level. So, but then when I did my year traveling, people would ask me to do Reiki on them. And it was nothing, I never even planned on working with this, like, honestly, because I had my private practice, I was doing that. And it was like, okay, I'll do it here and there on clients, but it was never in my mind to do like just work with Reiki or even teach Reiki. And then while I was traveling, I would meet people, and they're like, oh, I would talk, and they were like, what do you do? And I would explain different things. And they would say, oh, can you do Reiki on me? Okay, sure, I do Reiki on them. And it was usually like exchange kind of things, right? Because I was traveling, and just, I meet somebody, okay, do an exchange, I'll do Reiki, and you do on me. And then people started asking me to teach. And so I literally just started teaching because people would ask me. So for a whole year, every single person in multiple countries, I was in Argentina, Ecuador, Peru, Colombia, I would meet people and they would ask me to teach. And I didn't even have like a manual, nothing. I would just teach them. And I'm like, I would recommend this book for them to read, for more information. Then I got to Brazil, the same thing, people were asking. And so I was like, I guess I need to start teaching this like officially, right? Because people are asking me to teach. And so I guess that's what I'm supposed to be doing. And that was a big part when I moved to Salvador. So I came to Salvador, and me and another guy that I met, he started leading Reiki. I would do Reiki sessions. And what we did is we lived in a favela, which is like I'm not sure if you're familiar with favela, but it's like the poor communities in Brazil, which is predominantly Black, right? Where they're living on the mountains on top of each other, the houses on top of each other, colorful. So I lived in a favela. But I'm like, I feel safer in the favela than I do in the streets, because people don't understand what it's like. So just for people to kind of know as well, the favelas is run by the drug lords. They run it, but they keep it safe. They're making sure that no one's coming in doing anything, so it's like an organization other than the police. Better than the police. So that's what their job is, to keep it going. And so, so in a favela, we started offering on Sundays a Sunday clinic for anyone in the community to come in and receive free healing, free Reiki, free acupuncture, massage, whatever it is that they needed. And so that was a really good way that I did a lot of volunteer work for this community, the school called Bahia Street, where just Black girls who were abused, and so I would do this healing work with the girls, offering some psychotherapy groups and just doing things with them, to help with the abuse, to help them increase their self-esteem. And so that was one of the things, like when I first arrived in Bahia, in Salvador, I felt connected. I felt at home. I actually felt more rooted in Bahia than I did in the US. Like you feel that Black culture, you feel the community, the food, the music, the rhythm, the drums, the dancing, it just goes into you. And so one of the things that I needed to do was give back to this community. I felt like it was my community, even though I'm a stranger coming in, but I felt like I was part of the community. And that was one of the things that was amazing, just doing this work with Black girls who were abused, or even just the Black families that lived in the community to receive Reiki, and they were just open to it. I remember teaching little kids, the Black resilient kids, how to do Reiki, and they loved it. And, and so that was here. Brazil was the first place that I ever taught kids how to do Reiki. And so it was just amazing process that just makes me feel like I'm home here,
That's nice. And that's nice that you found a place like,
Mm-hmm.
you found your tribe. And in other words, some have been searching for their tribes forever, and some never find it.
Right.
And
And I
that's
keep finding tribe. I have so many tribes.
That's good. That means
Yeah.
you're global. That makes you a beautiful global citizen,
Yeah.
with beautiful ties and connect. So that means you have a connection. You're, the connection person, which is wonderful. And the energy that you bring, it's just really wonderful. So I want to thank you for that, because a lot of us come in and our ego, and I don't see no angle. Shoot. Everybody do not respect my time. But we're going to get through this. So you did that, and tell me, I know you have something going on this weekend called Black Love Experience. Or tonight, literally tonight, right? You have Black Love Experience going on
tomorrow. It's tomorrow night. Yeah.
Okay.
Black Love Experience is going on tomorrow night. Yeah, August 29th from 5 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's about just, connecting Black love, helping Black love to be stronger. So I'm going to be leading a Tantric workshop that's titled Yourself or With a Partner, right? And so a lot of my work with Tantra is about releasing traumas, blockages that's held in a body, so that we can become more intimate. We can have stronger connections, and so a lot of the workshops at the Black Love Experience will be about relating, connecting, relationship games. There's going to be acupressure, learning how to take care of yourself, eating right, how to do like different arts and crafts. There's going to be DJ sets, and a portion of the proceeds goes to Black Coalition in Southeast DC to help people there in the Southeast Washington DC area that don't have a lot of food, don't have a lot of money, don't have a lot of resources to care for themselves. So so it's a good project. It's a good project to really help people in that area.
That's beautiful. Area. That's really beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh, I mean, like, wow. I'm like blown away. That's beautiful. Right, really, that's amazing. I mean, okay. This is just energy is flowing beautifully. Really appreciate that. And I love your salt lamp in the back. I was like, okay, I see that. So that yes, purification. So I was like, oh wow. So you got everything set up. So doing that, and you're doing your classes and you're traveling, but now you're doing a lot online. And I know a couple days ago, I seen you had 3 young ladies online, and you were doing an event, and I can't remember the event was. It was 3 beautiful young ladies, and you guys were talking. So it's like, oh wow, you can always find you online doing something.
Oh, I'm always online doing something. People are like, Renee, you're all over the place. You do a lot. I'm like, I know.
Yes. So it keeps you busy and the energy
Yes.
flowing. So that's great. So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I seen in the video that you were bringing or encouraging some women to come to Brazil. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Is that still going on, or you surpassed that and that's something else? So.
No, that's still going on. It didn't happen this year because of COVID, but every April I bring women of color to Brazil, to Bahia, Salvador, Bahia, to really reconnect to their roots. And so we do a lot of work on healing work, connecting to your sexual energy, which is our vital life force energy. So in that, there's a lot of female empowerment exercises that we're doing. I do rebirthing techniques with the women. We do a culture tour so they get to see Brazil. We delve into the African religions. I take them to a candomblé ceremony, which is candomblé is rooted in the Yoruba African religion. So they can see that, and they learn about the different orishas. The orishas are like the gods and goddesses of the African religion or deities. So, they get to really delve in and learn about that. And it depends on how much the ladies want. Some of them sometimes would like to get readings done. So they actually get a show.
Divination?
What do you call it? I'm thinking of the word in Portuguese, buzios, and I can't think of it in English. There's another word.
Divination?
Not the divination itself,
reading?
but they get a reading. Yes, not a divination reading, but I'm trying to think of the word of the thing that they actually use. The cowrie shells, that's it.
Okay.
So here in Brazil, they use the cowrie shells to do the readings. And so some of the women, whoever want that, can get that done. That's up to them. If you don't feel like it, you don't have to. Women also, if you want, we can go through and do a whole cleansing, through the candomblé religion. They do the cleansing with the leaves and the bath. So it's a great experience to really feel that healing experience, that energy, right? So we go through that, and then we're really in a place that we go to a place where there's you kind of have like your own kind of secluded private beach. So it's nice. We're always going on to the beach, and sometimes we're doing the activities on the beach, having conversations on the beach. So it's real intimate. It's real beautiful. And yeah, I still do that every year in April. And then in August, I was starting for the first time, but because of COVID, I didn't do this. But August was supposed to be my starting to work with couples and doing couples retreat as well in Bahia. So that unfortunately got canceled. So hopefully next year I can do that couples retreat in Bahia.
It'll happen. It'll happen.
That's similar. Oh yeah, it will.
So I have another question. So what would you recommend for a new person looking at this and wants to go to Brazil? What would you suggest they do to actually make connections there in Brazil to get the lay of the land, and saying they don't speak, they might speak Spanish, but not Brazilian Portuguese, which is totally different.
Well, they can definitely connect with me because I have a lot of connections all throughout Brazil, Salvador, Rio, Sao Paulo. Could just find me on Instagram, PrandharaPrem _Tantra, or Black Rome Experience on Instagram, and then on Facebook, Renee Adolphe. So they can find me there. Also, what I recommend is if you go into Facebook, if you're a Facebook person, then you could go into, there's a Black Expats, Brazil Black Expats group. So they can go into that and then ask whatever questions. The group is very, very helpful. I'm in that group. And then there's a couple WhatsApp groups. So if you go in there and you connect or you ask me, I can get you into I'm some of the admins on the WhatsApp group. WhatsApp is just an app for the cell phone with different groups for the expats who live here or people who are just wanting to come through and travel. And so there's tons of great information on that. So I definitely recommend doing that. Yeah.
Okay.
And, researching, studying, looking at videos on YouTube. There's, a lot of times there's tons of questions on there that can help answer your whatever questions you have. Yeah, that's one of the best ways to start, Yeah.
Because everybody wants to, there's a lot of us that are just now starting to travel outside of the United States and realize that this is a great big world and it's beautiful, but all we got to do is get on a plane. Where before that did not be the norm, that we usually just go to maybe Jamaica, the Caribbeans, and go back home.
Right.
And now go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, I mostly travel alone. I travel with friends too, or a partner, whenever I'm in a relationship, but the majority of the times I travel alone. And one of the things that I always do is go into a group, because in any country you go to, there's going to be an expat group or a group of people traveling through there. There's Blackpackers of Southeast Asia, Blackpackers Connect. So there's so many different groups. So there's Nomadness Travel Tribe. There's Nomad for Life Community. There's so many different groups. And I always go into those groups and then I say, okay, this is the country I want to go. Has anyone been there? What do you recommend? So there's so many resources that you can get answers for wherever you want to travel in the world.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, now another thing people say, okay, you're in a new country. And how about dating? How is that for you? Being in that country, is that difficult? Because you're traveling back and forth. Most people are like, oh, I'm here, I'm new, and it's so hard.
It's so funny because when you're new to a place, I think you become exotic, and then it becomes easier to date because people are like, oh, that's new, fresh blood, right? New meat, and you meet people like literally. I'll never tell you, I went to Italy. I was in Italy for 3 days. I was dating a guy in Italy for those 3 days. I met him on my first day, and he was like, all right, we're hanging out. So I was hanging out with him. And he was cool. He was fun. He was taking me around. He had a car, so he'd drive me around. I was like, all right, cool. And, we still keep in touch to this day. Like, he wasn't nothing like I wanted to be in a relationship with him. But my point to that is it's easy to meet people and it's easy to find someone and date, And so, yeah, I've never had any problems. I've traveled all over and for different lengths of time. I always meet someone, especially if you're on the beach. And I think if you're traveling alone, it's easier because a guy is more likely to approach you if you're by yourself, like at a restaurant, or if you're by yourself on the beach. But when you're with your girlfriends, you're all kind of talking and you're not going to make that eye contact. The person is going to be more than likely more shy to kind of approach you just in case you might turn them down or something, or they might feel like they don't want to interrupt you. So yeah, but it's, in my opinion, I feel like it's been easy, but I know that there's some people who's had a difficult time. I think for me, it's easy because I'm very open and I feel like my energy is very open. So people feel like they can come and approach me as opposed to I'm like, I don't have this close energy looking angry when I'm sitting around. So sometimes there's a difference. And we just have to be aware of what energy we're emitting.
Right. That's true. I never thought about like, wow.
Yeah. Let me tell you how strong my energy is, my open energy. I was on a train one night in DC and it was like late at night, like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, oh my God, okay. I don't want anyone to come up and talk to me. So I'm gonna have an angry face on, right? So I'm like walking and I'm like, trying to look angry. I don't even think I can really look angry, but I'm like trying to look angry, like trying to look like, don't come mess with me, don't come talk to me. And then a man comes up to me and he was like, oh my God, why do you look so angry? You should try smiling more often. And I'm like, I'm looking like this because I don't want somebody to come up and talk to me. And so, because normally I always have a smile on my face. So it's like my energy is just always inviting. It's like, I want to come talk to her. Right. It's a blessing and a curse.
I get you. But it's beautiful because that says you're open and people also have a tendency to come and sit down and tell you all their problems. Trust me.
And that's and that be the thing I'm like, can I just rest my mind? Like, I don't want to hear problems. You know. But in terms of like people who might have difficulty with the dating when they travel, you know, if you're looking on different things, like you go onto these expat groups. Oh, there's other groups like couch surfing. Couch surfing was actually where I met this guy. Couch surfing is a program where you can find events wherever you are, or you can actually stay with the person, almost like an Airbnb for free.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to use it for like events and to meet people when I'm going, because there's locals there or there's people traveling. So that's a good way to meet people. And so really just doing your research before you go. And a lot of times you'll meet and end up just talking to people before you even get there to whatever. Excuse me. Yeah.
I've been there. See, because when I was in Thailand, they have a little thing that you can do meals and go eat meals with the family. You can pay a little
Oh,
something,
cool.
and I forgot what it was, but I haven't been in Thailand for about since 2018. So
I was just there. I think I was there in 2018. I went to Chiang Mai
I
and
was in
then
Chiang Mai too.
Koh Phangan.
Yes,
Yeah. I love Chiang Mai.
yes.
Oh my
Copenhagen.
God. And
And
the
I was
food is so delicious.
yes, So I lived in
Mm.
Dosaket, right around the corner from the temple. There's a
Mm-hmm.
vegan temple. So, and I
Mm-hmm.
loved it. Like I was telling people, I love durian. Oh my goodness, I miss durian. Not everybody likes
Yes,
durian.
durian fruit. I love it.
I'll be
It
like, oh,
smells bad, but it tastes so good.
it's
Yeah.
like
You gotta hold your
custard.
nose. You gotta hold your nose to eat it.
I'm
But,
like, oh my gosh. So they grow it on Sunday. The organic durian comes around up on the village. So
yeah.
they knew me. They were like, okay, here she comes. She coming to get her 2 durian. I was like, every day they could work on it. They were like,
Yes.
I got your durian, and they would do it. And the lady got to the point, she was like, I was like, look, she just started opening for me. So she said, I'm going to show you. She's like, so I know you'll buy more. So what happened is
Mm-hmm.
she showed me how to open the durian, showed me how to
Right.
pick a durian. And I did the video on Facebook, and I showed them, I was like, look,
Oh,
I want
awesome.
y'all to see this because you don't get this. And it was so
Mm-hmm.
friendly. I love it. I felt like I was spoiled. I had somebody washing my clothes, fold them up.
Right.
I had somebody cleaning my house. I mean, every day. I loved it. It was, to me, paradise living there for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's a good thing. So for people to experience outside, and the people were wonderful, and especially going there. So I had a wonderful time. That's what I said I missed, and then I was like, I'm here for a little bit, and then I got stuck here. I was like, I am in San Diego, and I'm stuck here. Oh, so I'm just really grateful. So
Yes.
I want you to tell people your website, if you can spell it out. I'm going to put everything down
Okay.
below so that everybody can go on and listen and actually
Awesome.
go and get your information. That's on YouTube, and we're going to post this video, like I said, in other social circles that I have, because I have
Okay.
my group called Alchemy Divine Magic,
Oh,
because
beautiful.
everybody's alchemy and divine. So,
Yes.
so I want you to give a little bit more, and then
Okay.
whatever you want to share right away.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you. Um, so yeah, I have you can contact me on Instagram, YouTube. I have tons of things always happening. I do tons of lives on YouTube every Wednesdays at 7 p.m. I do a YouTube live to really help release the stigma around sexuality. So every Wednesday I have something where we're talking about sexuality. I'm just removing the stigmas, removing the taboos. And then on Friday nights in Brazil, it's two women, a friend of mine who I met in Brazil, and we talk about different things. And so right now, in less than 10 minutes, I will be on that, and we're going to be talking about the Black Film Festival that's going to be starting next week. And if you're interested in learning about anything about Tantra, Reiki, sacred sexuality, feel free to contact me. I'm always available to answer questions. I have a Tantra course coming up the end of September. And then Black Love Experience. Come to Black Love Experience. There's tickets ranging anywhere from $10 to $55, depending on what you want to do. It supports a great organization, and you're going to get a lot of great stuff, a lot of great information on that. And I think that's it. Yeah. So you can find me on Instagram, PrandharaPrem_Tantra, Black Rome Experience, or I'll send you all of that. You can put it on the bottom, or Sacred Soul Retreat. I got so many Instagram accounts, and then Facebook and Twitter are both Renee Adolphe. And my website for more information is www.PrandharaPrem.com. So that's PrandharaPrem.com. So this is great. Thank you so much for having me. This was a great talk. I enjoyed it. It was nice meeting you virtually. So definitely want to keep in touch because we got some things in common. I see we were in similar places at the same time. Similarly with similarities with the energy work between Diane Shoemaker and Patrick Ziegler. So
yes, definitely. You know, might even contact you because I write different papers on sexuality and spirituality connection. So that might be something, you know, where like I said, I want us to be more positive about us because most people see it's a Blanquita thing or Blanco thing, and it's not a Blanco thing. It's not a, you know, it's a universal thing. I'm a universal citizen. That's what I say.
Right. Me too.
I'm not a universal. So I want everybody to understand, you know, that want to comprehend. So thank you so much, and definitely we'll be in touch. Going to send you a message and wait for this convert, and then I'll upload and send you the link, and then you'll get to see it. So thank you so much, and wow, thank you. Love it. Okay.
Thank you.
Right. Bye.
Thank you so much for asking me to come on.
No problem. Ashe, y'all.